So, hi Jack. It's been a while. Well, not really, but well, since we spoke last time after your Stelvio exploits, which was really impressive, as the intro said, you took the Mortirolo, you upset Nibali a bit, became
I
the
hope not. I've
most trending in a day on pro cycling stats. That's pretty impressive. Doesn't matter what day it is. Still a feat that not many people can say.
we should probably cut that out because then people are going to start going after Strava KOMs instead of trying to win Tour de France stages to become trending on pro cycling stats. But yeah, sure. I'm like, man, all this suffering I did my whole life to try to win real bike races, and it's a KOM that gets me trending on pro cycling stats.
But I mean, the Mortirolo, it's such a, well, I have been informed by one of your friends in Austria that there is actually a climb that's even harder, and you've done that climb as well.
Which the Rettenbach
Insert German name, but yeah, so yeah, the Mortirolo, Lance Armstrong described it as what, hell on earth or something like that, the worst climb he's ever done.
I
And
felt great on it.
are you going to start a feud with Lance Armstrong?
Hell yeah. Maybe that'll get
Uh,
me on his podcast.
North American rivalry. But yeah, I mean, how was the Motorola for you? How did you prepare for it? And there's crazy stats going around that it's one of the quickest time in a long time. Obviously, I'll put the caveat in there. It wasn't in a racing situation. You put this into the
Duh.
Stelvio thing as well, so we might as well that before anyone goes crazy. But still, it's an amazing feat.
Yeah. Okay. So like out of everything I did this year, like anyone that's into like racing and stuff like that will know that there's just some days where you just have like diamonds in your legs where you just feel amazing. And so for like Alpe d'Huez and the Stelvio, I think I lost like 3 years off my life doing these. Like I was suffering so much doing these. And then the Motorola, I was like this close to not doing it because it sounded like such a ridiculous idea in my head. I'm like, man, you got the Stelvio, you got Alpe d'Huez, you won all the races you did this year. Like let's just end the season on a high. Like that's like great, leave it there. And then like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go drive 4 hours in the car to go try to break Nibali's record. And like just to be clear, like I was not taking a shot at Nibali at all. I'm a huge fan. Like I think that, and I've looked at that record for so long because I've done so many training camps in Livigno. And but then I was like, yeah, I was so close to not doing it because I didn't want to not get it and then like go into like the winter off-season break on like a low moment. I wanted to like end on a high, but then I was like let's just give it a shot. Like there's nothing to lose. And then I was really angry about not making the Zwift Academy, like not even making the first cuts for that. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go do this. And so like that was like a little bit of like the fuck you energy in my head where I was just like, I'm gonna go do this. Like I want to prove to myself that I'm going well. Like again, I was so close to not doing it at the beginning and nobody was there. It was just like me. I just drove there in my car by myself, parked at the bottom, and like, all right, let's give this a rip. And dude, I felt so good. Like that was like that and the Ötztaler this year. Those are the two times this year where I've just felt like unbelievable. And then
And then you drove back.
and then I drove back. Yeah, that was it. But dude, like I got to the top of this climb and the other ones I was dying. Like I looked like I was about to have a heart attack. This one I got to the top and I was sprinting. Like I still had so much gas left in the tank. Like I look at my power file and it's like a 600 watt sprint at for like the last whatever bit of the after the last hairpin there. Got to the top, like there's nobody there again. It's just like a cold fall day. And I'm just like smiling like a little kid, being like, I freaking smashed it. And when I said, like, in the video that I posted on Instagram where I said I smashed it, and I understand because the way it comes across in the video is not how I meant it. I wasn't saying like I smashed Nibali. That wasn't like that was not at all what I was trying to say. When I said I smashed it, I meant like I smashed it as in like I smashed myself. Like I had great legs, like I got everything out on the day and I just felt amazing. But everybody took it as in like I was taking a shot at Nibali, and that wasn't at all how I meant it.
I definitely know that it wasn't personal, Vincenzo. I don't think you're listening, but
I tried to reach out to him just to say like I tried to reach out to him and there's no way to
tranquilo,
contact.
tranquilo.
No, I wanted to say to him like, hey dude, like I just wanted to let you know, like I'm such a fan. Like I've really looked up to you since I was a kid for this. Like it was just like an honor to be able to like try to do something that you also did on this. And I know he did it in a race. It's not at all comparison. He'd probably smash my time if he went and did it like a time trial. But yeah, I was just really happy to get to well, that's the point of Strava. It's like you can any Joe Blow can go compare themselves against like tour riders.
Yeah, exactly. No, and sometimes you're like, well, it's a bit unfair with you guys because you have lead out men and all these things, the paces on the climbs during the race. We don't have that when we're trying to smash it ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Vincenzo Nibali, a legend of the sport. But yeah, I mean, it absolutely just, yeah, I saw your name everywhere. Even saw it on Danish cycling websites, niche websites. That's what happens when you take the Mortirolo KOM during November when nothing's happening. So it's just perfect.
Well, I know it's only the idiot Canadian that thinks it's going to be a good idea in November when I'm like absolutely freezing doing it. Like I've never used arm warmers or leg warmers in my life. And it's like these are the only times I've used them because I'm like, I'm freaking cold, but I can't wear like a puffy jacket and a pair of long winter tights during this.
Yeah, it's like closer to ski season than cycling season.
It absolutely is. I went ski touring yesterday. I was ski touring at Sunrise yesterday. It's ski season. I don't know why I'm biking still.
So what are you doing with the skiing then before we go to Alpe d'Huez?
I think skiing's gonna have to end for this year, which is really sad because I was really looking forward to. I mean, the whole plan up until like maybe, well, really until all this stuff started blowing up was that I was going to be doing the ski mountaineering season. Like I'd be racing the World Cups for Team Canada for that, and now cycling is going so well that I'm like, damn it, I can't really turn down these opportunities in cycling now. So I think I gotta. I'm not gonna race the ski mountaineering World Cup season, which is hard, and then especially because like the national team has been so good to me. Like they've been unbelievable, and I have so much admiration for those guys and girls doing that. But so I'm in like my whatever 2 week off season break right now. Normally I take 4 weeks, but because it's ending so late, like that would mean I wouldn't start training again until Christmas, and that's too late. So I'm giving myself like 2 weeks, don't touch the bike, just go have fun, go skiing, go to the gym if you want to, catch up on work, do all this kind of stuff, and then jump back on the bike next Monday, I guess it'll be. So I have like, oh, geez, what's today? Today's Tuesday. I have like 6 days left of my off season. Damn it. But yeah, and then back to training, I guess.
The skiing, just yeah, obviously you say you're not going to do it, but is there any kind of like what would you call it? Similarity, like any benefit? Because like the Norwegians, there's so many Norwegians that have high VO2 maxes and ski in the off season when they're not cycling.
Yeah, totally. So like I will definitely keep skiing as like cross training, but there's a very big difference between using skiing as training where I'm just going for a workout for it versus training to race World Cups where it's like it's a lot more technical stuff and then I'm also pinning it on the downhills and then like there's the risk of getting hurt and there's all like there's a very big like I will continue to go ski touring and cross country skiing if there's enough snow. Like it's the thing is it's better in Canada, it's better, or at least where I live in Canada, near Whistler, the cross country skiing is better. But here and to go backcountry skiing there, it's like really backcountry stuff. It's not on piste training, and then it's not as good for training at that point. It's more for fun. Versus in Austria here, they get less snow, so it's harder to go cross country skiing. I actually don't think the cross, even though they have Seafeld right here, which I was always told is like one of the best places in the world for cross country skiing. I've been there a few times and it's cool, but I honestly think the cross country skiing we have in Whistler is way better than what they have with like in here in Austria than what I've seen. And so the ski touring here is better. So I'll keep using ski touring as cross training, and because it's also like free training to me, it's fun. So if I can do like double days are my favorite time, or the winter is my favorite time to train all year because I can do double days where I can go on my ski touring skis in the morning, come back, have breakfast, then go on the bike. Like those are my favorite days.
So the Winter Olympics, that
I just want to be an Olympian. I just wanted like that was the whole reason behind skiing is
but when is the Winter Olympics? Is 2 years?
2026. No, 2026. So it's next winter. So I'd have to race this whole year to qualify for it. So I
Ah,
kind of have to turn that down, which that's really hard. But also the events that they have in the Olympics are the worst ones for me, and it would be the hardest for me to qualify for that because it's not the longer events that suit me better because I have an engine from cycling. It's the sprint and the mixed relay, which is far more technical. And then that's the stuff I'm the worst at. So it would be hard anyways for that. But the whole reason I went to skiing is just because like I just want to compete at the highest level, and skiing was a way easier way to do that than biking because biking you need so much money and support to be able to do it versus skiing, it's a much smaller sport and it's simple. It's skis, boots, poles. And like the whole sport runs on a way smaller budget, so it's more accessible to everybody versus cycling is so professional. It's like if you don't have the support of a real development team, it's so hard to make it without that.
But well, touching the teams a bit more. Well, remember that we're a cycling podcast now and not a skiing podcast.
Right.
So Alpe d'Huez. So here's my timeline for this. We did an well, I saw you took this Stelvio KOM, thought, oh my God, Jack, that's impressive. Messaged you, said, oh, let's do a podcast about it. We did that podcast. And then after the podcast, you said something about Alpe d'Huez. And I was like, yes, let's do a video about that. And I was thinking you meant springtime, but you meant
Next
November.
week.
So yeah, literally. So then we head down to Alpe d'Huez. We do the video, which is up now. And yeah, how was that whole thing for you as well, Alpe d'Huez? It was absolutely okay, from my perspective, viewing what was going on. Yeah, Alpe d'Huez decided to basically at the top of Alpe d'Huez, great weather. At the bottom, pretty good as well. But in the middle, there was literally just a cloud and most of the top as well. So part of it, you were cycling through a cloud, which just made it look more epic anyway. But yeah, how was Alpe d'Huez for you?
How I felt out of the three like KOMs, how I felt that was the worst one for me. Like as far as like I didn't feel as good on that one. Like okay, obviously it was still good, but I actually felt like I was suffering the worst for that one. And then it was so freaking cold. Like for the last like 2 kilometers of that, I couldn't even really work the shifters on my gears. Like I tried to stand up at one point. Like I think I was standing for like less than 45 seconds of the whole effort. Like I was just like I was so cooked I couldn't even get out of the saddle. And then uh it was so cold. My hands were so frozen at the top. Like I had arm warmers and leg warmers on, and I was sweating, but my hands were still completely frozen. So I couldn't work the shifters. And then when I finished the effort, I was completely dead. And I'm like sitting in the van, like our buddies were up at the top there. And then I just like sat in the van and like Thomas came over to me to say, like, how is it going and stuff. I'm like, dude, can you take my helmet off? I can't work the buckle. My hands are frozen. I can't get the buckle off my helmet. So I think he's looking at me like, Jesus Christ, this guy's dead.
Yeah, in the video, I actually included the temperature so you can see it gradually just getting colder and colder. And I think that just made it more impressive. I
It
mean,
was like minus
just
10, right? It was like minus 10, I think, at the top, something like that. Minus 10, maybe minus 20 with the wind
I
chill,
think
something.
I'm not quite sure, but it definitely went. It was not. I think it was close to 0 degrees
Yeah,
around that, which I mean, cycling in that is terrible. Okay, obviously it wasn't the Marco Pantani record because you have to be
darn it.
superhuman to do that. But it was I never knew about this, that Strava had gone in and like verified segments. So it is the Alpe d'Huez tick verified Strava. I think your old teammate's gonna be a bit unhappy with you after that.
Well, I was never actually teammates with Sep, but like Sep's
Oh,
just been
okay.
like a friend. Like we raced against each other, but we were never teammates. But he was far more successful than me and made it to, and I mean, the other thing I don't like about this is I feel like I'm taking the thing off of Sep, and it's like he's such a nice guy that like he's such a great guy. I feel bad about it. Like I'm like, and the thing is like Sep did it in a race. If Sep did it in a time trial, he'd beat me. Like no question there. Like there's no argument there. I just feel really cool to like see my name up alongside those guys.
I mean, he didn't respond to our messages. No, I'm kidding. We'd never message him. We didn't go randomly. Hey, Seb, do you want to come in November? Yeah, we said November.
Sep would not come in November. He's like, dude, I'm cooked from the season. I'm turning my phone off for a week or a
I'm
month.
in a beach somewhere, just chilling
Yeah.
out.
Life's better at the top.
But what was your strategy for it? So, like, did you have a certain power that you were trying to hit all the way up? And did your coach help you with kind of devising a strategy for it?
I mean, this is like such a good hack for it. So like my coach does all this sort of testing software stuff. And then he has this one software that can basically like guess what, like if you put in the time, like of a max effort and you just say like whatever, 36 minutes or something like that, he can figure out exactly what kind of power numbers you can do based on the training you've done from the last like day or week. Like it's super, super accurate. And he said I could do about 420 or it was like 415 to 420 for that. And then I was like, okay, that's the goal. But then when I started, I was like, I feel amazing. Like, let's just push harder. And then so I was pushing way too much for that. And I think for like the first half of it, I think I did somewhere like maybe 4:35 or maybe a little bit more for that. And then the wheels fell off. Like I just overpaced it way too much and then was just like creeping for the last part of it. And I think I ended at like 4:19 or 4:20 or 4:21 or something like that. So it was dead on for that. And I was like, damn it. Okay, sure. His software was right. And I think I could have gone faster if I did pace it a little bit better that way. But like the caveat to that, I will say is like his software has been bang on for every effort I've done this year, like everything all year. But then the Motorola was the final one where I texted him after. I'm like, I finally beat your stupid software because he said again, it's like, I think you can do 420 for that again. And then so for the Motorola, because it's a longer one, it's like 45 minutes long. I was like, okay, Jack, no matter how good you feel, do not blow up 420. You're sticking to that this time. And then I did that for like the first 15, 20 minutes of it. It felt so easy. And I was like, but okay, dude, it's 45 minutes long. Don't make the same mistake again as Alpe d'Huez. And I did it. And then like 15 minutes to go in the effort, I was just like, I feel amazing. Like, okay, just like take the chains off. Let's go. And then I smashed it way more than that. And then I think I ended that one with like 4:35 and still felt great at the top. And I'm like, oh, finally I beat this stupid software. Oh, here's another thing about the Motorola, which I didn't say to anybody, is with maybe like 2 kilometers to go, the road was closed because they were logging on it. And I got to there and I was like, no, 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 please. Because I knew I was gonna get it at this point. And I'm like, please tell me the road is not closed, like a kilometer from the finish. And then there's these logging trucks and these old Italian guys like trying to say like stop, don't go, and I'm like I'm going, dude. I'm gonna be like a linebacker going through somebody at this point. Like I'm going around, and then so I had to like ride into the dirt to go around this like logging truck, and I'm like weaving around these trucks, and I'm just like thank God I made it through without that. But my heart stopped for a second there, or maybe it jumped like 10 beats for a minute because I was like, no, please don't let this happen.
I mean, we had a similar moment at Alpe d'Huez almost. If we were an hour earlier, your attempt would have been interrupted by a Remembrance Day parade on the church on Dutch Corner.
That was so funny. And then so the thing is, it's like so for people who weren't there, there was like there's a church there, yeah, Dutch Corner, there's a church there, and they were doing this thing where they have like everybody walking down the street to go to church. And then they basically like close the road while these people walk to church carrying a cross or something like that. And we were just like, oh no. But in my head, I was thinking, I'm going past them. I'm going around them. Like, sorry, guys, I need like a meter of the road. I'm going for this. But then they had like soldiers with machine guns there for like whatever this parade thing is. And I'm like, they look pretty serious. I hope I don't get shot doing
I think
this.
they were fine with cyclists. It was just cars couldn't go anywhere near. But yeah,
Glad that didn't happen.
but literally the day before we had perfect conditions,
Yeah.
perfect weather, no cloud. Do you
Sunny.
think do you think the temperature would have if we'd done it a day before, or do you think it was great conditions? Compare the Mortirolo climate to the Alpe d'Huez climate, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, so the weather at the Motorola was definitely better for it. Like it was a little bit warmer, or actually, it was a lot warmer, and it was, I think it was like 15 degrees and sunny there. So but I don't think like the cold weather really slowed me down that much for it. I mean, it would have been nicer to do it in warm weather, but I think it was more the fact that my legs just weren't as good on the Alpe d'Huez as the other ones. But yeah, I don't think weather affected it too much.
So, I mean, the thing that most people will kind of think about as well, what's next? What came out of these extraordinary feats on the mountains in November?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm def so because I keep getting asked this question and I haven't had an answer for it. And then because I haven't had a plan more than like 2 weeks in advance for the last 2 years of my life, I think like the answer I can give you is I will be training on the bike. I'm not going to do the skiing thing. I'm going to be training on the bike. And regardless of what happens, I'm still going to be doing the same thing. It's just the decision is, am I going to be doing it for a job or not? So, of course, my dream is still to make it to the World Tour. Absolutely. That is my biggest dream in the world. If I got that opportunity, 100% I'd go for it. If I don't get that, I'm still going to be doing this. Like, I'll just be doing like amateur races and I just won't be doing cycling professionally. I'll still do it how I do it right now, where I don't earn any money from it. I just do it for fun. I just do it for fun, but I take it as seriously as I can with the time that I have to do it. If I got pro contract it would just mean I could train even better because I could just focus on cycling. Like I wouldn't have to do all the other stuff that I do. I could just focus on the bike and that'd be great. Maybe I'd go even faster. That'd be really cool. But regardless, I'm going to keep doing the same thing. I just don't know if I'll be doing it for a job or not.
I mean, the tap to toe is going to be shivering if you haven't
If I
got a
don't get a world
contract.
tour, if I don't get a world tour contract, I'm just going to go like guns blazing trying to smash all these races.
Eventually, you'll have all the KOMs around the mountains.
Just like take out all my frustration on the amateur races. Who's this jerk doing this?
But yeah, for me, it is a bit frustrating because you have a lot of racing experience. You clearly are in the form, well, one of almost the form of your life, and it's just, yeah, well, I have obviously tried my best to get you in touch with the right people, and it's also the time of year, as we know, that many teams are full.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For sure. And the thing is, like, if you had said that to me 2 years ago, I would have been really crushed. Like, that would have been really painful to hear because it's like, man, I've done everything I can. I'm doing everything I can. I feel like I'm good enough. I just want a chance. And that'd be really devastating. Now, that's not the feeling that I have right now. Like, it's like, of course, I would love it to be a World Tour rider. That's my dream. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I also equally love what I do right now. Like the work and the fun that I get to have right now. I honestly think I probably have more fun with the life that I have right now than I would if I was a World Tour pro. Like the life
don't
that I
say
have right
that
now.
if they're listening.
No, 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 but I'll get to that in a second. I think the life that I have right now is more fun and is easier. Well, it's definitely easier than what it would be like to be a World Tour pro, but I would still trade all of that to get to be a World Tour pro for a bit because there's like the all the benefits of not being a pro are outweighed by the fact of just competing at the highest level. Like there's nothing that compares to competing at the Tour de France and like the biggest races in the world. Like that's what I love more than anything is that competitive side of me and just wanting to compete against the best guys, even if it's harder and all this other stuff. That's still the thing that trumps everything to me is just being able to compete at the highest level. And I would absolutely do that because there's only a short window of your life where you can do it for.
That's true.
And
You
all
can
the
always go back to podcasting.
Yeah, all this other stuff will just be waiting for me after my career. And I really think that makes me a better athlete because I know what, like, it's not every race is not do or die. It's you can enjoy it. So, like, I had an interview yesterday where we did like this really long podcast and it was awesome. And the guy asked me about relief. And it was such a good question because you see so many guys that win a race in it and you see their facial expression on it and it's not even like joy for winning the race, it's just relief because all you have in your life is pro cycling. All you have, like, you dedicate your life to this and it's all you have. And if you don't win a race when you've done everything right, you're crushed because it's like I tried my hardest and I still didn't win. I got second. I'm such a loser or something like that. And when you win, it's like, oh my God, thank God I'm not a loser. Like I won. Like it's relief. It's not even joy versus, and that's how I was my whole life. But now I've never had so much fun riding my bike, doing all these races and stuff like that. Never in my life have I had so much fun doing sports because it's just joy when I win now. It's not relief. It's just joy and fun and excitement. And like, this is amazing. This is so great. And I think that's what you see with like, again, I've never spoken to Tadej Pogacar in my life, but like when he wins a race, it looks like he's just having fun and enjoying it versus you see so many other guys, they win a race and it's like this crazy excitement they have on their face, but it looks more like relief. Like they're just like, thank God I got something out of this. Maybe I can be a pro for another year. Maybe this will get me another contract. Like they're just so relieved to have something for it.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, the sport, when you put it like that as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, again, I was like that my whole life. And the only reason I got past that relief thing is I have all this other stuff in my life that I really enjoy. So it's like, it would be hard to not ever get a shot at the big time because I do feel like I'm good enough to race at that level. And I'd love to get my chance to prove it there. But if I don't, it's like I did everything I possibly could. There's nothing more I could have done, and that I can be proud of. And it's like, it's not like life sucks anymore if I don't have that. For the longest time in my life, I was like, I'm going to be such a loser and so miserable if I don't make it as a pro because I don't know what else I could do. And I've had all these other jobs, like working construction, and you're like, good God, is this my life if I don't make it as a pro? Like, this is a life not worth living. anymore versus now it's like, okay, there's other stuff I can do. Like I'm good at other stuff too, and I have fun doing it as well.
I mean, that is the most important thing. Um, did you feel the buzz after the Motorola? Did you see that, like all the articles and stuff, just to end with? Because
Yeah,
it
it's
was crazy to
ridiculous.
see blowing up on Twitter. And
So I'm not on Twitter, like I'm just on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter or any of these other things. And dude, it was ridiculous. It's like there's so much. Like if you put Jack Burke cyclist into Google and then you just look at the news articles, it's like everything. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I'd stopped reading all of it because I was like, I can't. It's so overwhelming at that point where you've spent the whole day just answering. And because the other thing, it's like I'm so grateful for all of it. I'm really so grateful. So you try to answer everybody. Anyone who asks you for an interview, you say yes. You say yes to everybody. You answer every messages, but it's like I've literally been at my computer for 9 hours today and I've done nothing. I've just been answering messages for people, and it's like you're exhausted by the end of it. So I'm like, I'm still the person that tries to answer everybody because I'm so grateful that people are interested and people are saying such nice things, and that's wonderful. And I also remember that I was that guy reaching out, and I still am that guy reaching out to pros that are much bigger and more famous than me, and they took the time to answer me. So I would feel like such a dickhead if it's like I'm not going to answer this when I am a half a percent as famous or noticed as them. So it's like I still feel obligated to answer everybody, but it gets a bit exhausting after a while. You're kind of like, okay, I'm going a bit crazy doing this now. I don't think this is healthy.
well, we might as well finish it with one of your things
Oh
that
boy.
you do in your podcast. If you had £10,000, $10,000, is that what it is?
10,000
What would,
euros
euros, okay. What would you spend it on?
for a toy or for my performance?
Let's do both. That'll be
Okay.
quite interesting. Because
Uh,
like one of the behind the scenes thing, obviously we didn't film that, but the room that we were staying in
oh
Outdoors, on top
God.
of Outdoors, because some Canadian thought it was a good idea to be on the top of Outdoors, so we were in this abandoned hotel with no Wi-Fi, and yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're like,
proper weird. We were the only three people in a 600 room hotel because it's off season. But that
oh
aside,
God.
I learned how nerdy you and your friend Thomas is about all this training, the perfect people to ask about anything training, which was really, really insightful for me. But yeah, so that's why we're doing toy and fun and training. There we go. You can have two.
Okay, so we'll start with fun then. So fun, if I had 10 grand to spend on fun, I'd get a paraglider set up. I'd be
Of
paragliding.
course.
Yeah, but a paraglider, that's like the one mountain sport I'm not into yet. I'd love to because like so many of my friends are paragliders and stuff. Okay, so caveat to that, if I got a world tour contract, probably wouldn't be paragliding because I don't want to get hurt and risk that. But if I could just have fun, paragliding because like one of my friends, he's a trail runner, and so he runs up the mountains and then flies off them, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. That looks
Why would you
amazing.
do that?
That's because I hate walking down. I hate the hiking down the mountain part. That sucks. So I'd rather fly down. So there's that. And then I'd get because like I really love like working in front of my computer all day. I'd get like the Apple Vision Pro so I could have like virtual reality goggles on when I'm working all day. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. That'd be really fun. So I'd get those would be the toys that I'd get. And then for performance. It really depends on what I already have. So, like, if let's say I was in a world tour team, you already have you have everything already. And so I'd spend that 10 grand on an altitude camp, like just on more training camps and stuff. Because I still love, like, to me, like the best vacation in the world is going to Livigno for 3 weeks and just living like a lunatic, like just training like a madman. Maybe I don't know if I'd bring any friends or not because I love having my friends around, but then I feel guilty when I'm training all the time and I'm just kind of leaving them alone. So I'd spend the 10 grand on training camps. If I
Would
wasn't
it be
in a
10 grand for 3 weeks in Livigno?
no, it'd be like two.
Oh, okay.
It's just like you could do like 5 training camps for that. Um, but I'd spend it on training camps probably for that. The other big area that like I want to improve a lot for me is like the nutrition side of stuff. So like with just getting better at calorie counting and stuff, like just learning all the new stuff that the guys do. Because like I've done it in the past, but I think a lot has changed or it's gotten a lot better since I was last doing it. And so I'd work with the nutritionist to just help me teach me. Like I'd be like, hey, can I pay you to like do this for me for like 2 or 3 weeks just so I can get a handle on it and like learn how to do this stuff. And that would be a good one. Like getting, because there's a bunch of new apps for tracking it. So there's the Jumbo Food Coach app, which was like the really popular one that the Jumbo Visma came out with. Then there's like Hexus, and then there's another one that Bora uses or Red Bull Bora uses from Ministry. And these are all just really cool. And the way that I was doing it was a little bit more analog and archaic. Like I used to do it with MyFitnessPal, and nothing's really connected. Like it kind of connects to your Training Peaks, and it's just a bit more work. So I'd like to learn the newer versions of doing it.
But yeah, I think we'll finish there. Talking about calorie counting apps. But yeah, it's been a delight, Jack. And on to the next one is, and we all cross our fingers that you get an opportunity in 2025 for sure.
Man, I've been looking. Like I think they're plowing the road on the Galibier. So like if you want to go do that on like Christmas morning, like we could go give that a shot.
Oh my God.
You could be on a snowmobile.
In front,
Yeah.
plowing the way. Oh my God.
Dude, my friends would say yes to it. Thomas, Marcus, Dominic, all of them. If I told them, they'd be like, yes, we're in. We're stoked. That was the other cool part about this Alpe d'Huez thing. It's like, I told you guys I want to do this. And then I was just like I thought it'd be a cool idea. And as soon as I said it to like you and my friends, everyone's just like, yes, we're in. We're coming. And I'm like, you guys are the
Outdoors in
greatest.
November. It sounds great.
Yeah. And
We were
the whole
literally there, and there were five people there because it's not skiing season yet, and it's the end of the cycling season, so completely ghost town at
Yeah,
the
and the other
top.
thing, it's like, okay, we should have done your idea of staying at the bottom because you asked me, do you want to stay at the bottom or the top of Altoids? And I've never been there. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool to stay on top. Like, that sounds cool, right? I wasn't thinking through the fact that it's closed and there's no hotels there. And we get this abandoned hotel that's freezing cold. I was freezing cold for 3 days. You were too. Everybody's freezing cold for 3 days. There's no Wi-Fi, or you have to pay whatever it was. You have to pay an additional fee to get Wi-Fi. I'm like, what country are we in? Like this is France. Like this is Alpe d'Huez. And then you couldn't even buy the Wi-Fi. That was annoying. But we should have stuck with your idea of staying at the bottom. Don't listen to my stupid ideas.
For the next one, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, with that, that's basically it. And as always, thanks to Jack for coming on. And he's trying to get the Dan Bigham record of being most featured guest. But make sure to check out Jack's own Instagram, his podcast as well. That will all be in the link down below, and of course the video itself of him doing outdoors. But until then, I'm sure we'll see you again very soon, Jack.
Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Boom, done.
Awesome.